Ancient Egyptian civilization continues to amaze us with its mysteries day after day. The fascination isn't just limited to grand temples and monuments that have stood the test of time, but also to the secrets hidden behind the mummies of the pharaohs. Mummies that whisper tales of an enigmatic past. Some were discovered with expressions of agony frozen on their faces. Others remained eerily intact for thousands of years until their secret was unveiled. And then there are those forever linked to the so-called curse of the pharaohs. Among the most debated is the mummy of Pharaoh Ramesses II, often speculated to be the ruler who confronted Prophet Moses, peace be upon him. We've previously covered these topics in our past episodes, which you can find in the video description. But today, we are here to discuss a mummy that astounded its discoverers upon examination and caused a massive stir, especially in Western media: the mummy of the pregnant woman. We are accustomed to seeing the usual mummified remains in museums and tombs, but the discovery of a mummified pregnant woman, preserved along with her unborn child, was an extraordinary and unprecedented find in ancient Egyptian archaeology. This was not just the embalming of one person, but two lives intertwined in a single body, serving as undeniable proof of the remarkable anatomical knowledge and embalming skills of the ancient Egyptians. Their expertise not only preserved the mother's body from decay, but also safeguarded an unborn child who had never even seen the light of day. Who was this woman? Why was the fetus left inside her? And what was the mysterious cause of her death, revealed during scientific examination? These are the questions we will answer in today's investigation. Stay with us until the end to uncover the full mystery of this unique mummy. But before we dive into the details, make sure to subscribe to the channel and, most importantly, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest videos. The mummy of the pregnant woman was first discovered in the 19th century, specifically in the Valley of the Kings in Luxor. It dates back to the 1st century BCE, during the height of Queen Cleopatra's reign, a time when Egypt was a hub of activity and cultural influence. Researchers believe that this woman held significant social status in her time. Unfortunately, the mummy did not remain in Egypt for long. Like many artifacts during the 19th and 20th centuries, it was smuggled out of the country, either legally or illegally. In 1826, it was donated to the University of Warsaw in Poland by a Polish collector named Jan Wikrodzki. Later, in 1917, the mummy was transferred to the Warsaw Museum for public display. Strangely, before it was examined, it was widely believed that the mummy belonged to a male priest named Hor-Jehuti. This misconception arose because the mummy had been placed in a coffin bearing inscriptions referring to this priest. This suggests that the mummy was taken out of Egypt illegally, as it was common at the time for smugglers to place mummies in elaborate coffins to increase their market value. In 2015, Polish researchers launched the Warsaw Mummy Project, an initiative that used advanced technology to examine human and animal mummies, as well as other artifacts. Eventually, they turned their attention to the so-called mummy of the priest Hor-Jehuti. Initial scans were conducted under the assumption that the remains belonged to a male, as the coffin inscriptions suggested. However, when researchers performed CT scans, they were stunned to see a tiny foot inside the abdominal area of the mummy. Further investigation confirmed an astonishing truth. The mummy was not a man at all, but a pregnant woman. The fetus appeared as a distinct mass inside the mother's womb, visible in the imaging scans. By measuring the circumference of its skull, researchers estimated the gestational age to be between 26 to 30 weeks, approximately the 7th month of pregnancy. Additional 3D imaging revealed the presence of well-preserved breasts, as well as long curly hair, confirming that the mummy belonged to a young woman aged between 20 and 30 years old. This discovery raised significant questions among the researchers. Ancient Egyptian embalmers traditionally removed the deceased's internal organs, such as the liver, lungs, and intestines, and placed them in canopic jars for separate preservation. The mummified bodies were typically left empty of internal organs. Yet the pregnant woman's body contained 4 wrapped bundles, believed to be her embalmed organs, placed back inside her instead of being stored separately. Another mystery was why the fetus remained inside the mother's body instead of being mummified separately. In other cases, stillborn infants were often embalmed independently, as seen with the 2 mummified fetuses discovered in King Tutankhamun's tomb, one of 5 months gestation and the other 7 months. So why was this fetus left inside the mother? Researchers proposed 2 main theories. The first theory suggests a possible religious belief that an unborn child did not possess a soul until birth. Thus, it was considered safer to leave the fetus within the mother's womb for the afterlife. However, this theory has been debated, as evidence shows that other fetuses were mummified separately. The second theory is more practical. It may have been difficult for embalmers to extract the fetus from the mother's womb without severely damaging the body. Additionally, the embalming process may have been conducted hastily, leaving no time to remove the fetus safely. The mummy's discovery was officially announced in 2021. But was this the first ever discovery of a pregnant mummy? Not necessarily. Egyptologist Dr. Zahi Hawass dismissed claims that this was the first case of a pregnant mummy, stating that a similar find was made in 2010 in the tombs of the pyramid builders. A skeletal remains of a pregnant dwarf woman dating back 4,600 years. Additionally, in 2018, an Italian-American archaeological team discovered a 25-year-old pregnant woman's skeleton in Komombo, Aswan, with the fetus positioned in the birth canal, indicating she had died during childbirth. Egyptologist Dr. Maya Ahmed Ali has also suggested that due to limited resources, many mummies in Egypt have yet to be thoroughly examined. If extensive research were conducted, it is highly likely that more cases of pregnant mummies would be discovered, particularly among the royal princesses. Before we conclude, I must express my deep sadness whenever I hear about Egyptian antiquities being held outside Egypt, especially in Western countries. France alone possesses numerous Egyptian obelisks, mummies, artifacts, and even entire tomb floors. It is heartbreaking to see a civilization that endured for thousands of years being stolen in plain sight. What's even worse is that many of these relics were taken with the help of Egyptians themselves, whether by local villagers who sell artifacts for quick money or high-ranking officials who orchestrated smuggling operations in secrecy, not to mention the artifacts that were gifted to foreign countries by Egyptian leaders in exchange for political favors. And for what? Some claim that these are just stones and statues. But if they were insignificant, then why is the entire world willing to pay millions of dollars for them? Why is there such global excitement over every new discovery in Egypt? We will dedicate a full episode to this issue soon. And that brings us to the end of today's investigation. Let us know what topics you'd like us to cover next in the upcoming episodes. Don't forget to support us, my friend. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video.